Hi there, this is Dr. Marie Claire Moreau. I'm the author of Suddenly Homeschooling. I want to talk to you today about homeschooling the high school years. This is something that a lot of parents are nervous about, are anxious about, are concerned about, and quite naturally, because it is the culmination of everything that you've done for so many years, I can certainly understand how it would be something that you'd be especially maybe nervous about entering those high school years if you've never done it before. So the topic of today's video, however, is not just going to be about high school in general. It's going to be about the notion of starting with the end in mind and then working backwards to teach homeschooling high school. So in a nutshell, I get a lot of questions, and perhaps you've heard this expression too, start with the end in mind, or start at the finish line in high school and then work backwards. That's what I want to talk about. And what that really means is think about the 4 years of high school. I like to describe them as really just one learning unit, right? It's like this 48-month, assuming that you're doing a full 4 years. It's 48 months in which your child has to complete high school. It doesn't have to be a year at a time. It can be by semesters. It can be broken up into different chunks of learning. They don't have to represent 4 individual years, but it is kind of a 48-month block of time in which to complete high school. So what I usually like to do is I like to suggest that parents think down the road to that day when the student is going to have completed the homeschool high school program, and that's usually graduation. And think about what you want the student to have accomplished by that point, and then work backwards for the last 48 months and kind of plan all those experiences to make sure that they all get done by that date. So that's what we mean by working backwards, right? So if the goal of your students' homeschool high school experience is going to be college admission, then you have 48 months, or he or she has 48 months in which to complete everything that you want to do by the time you graduate, and will be prepared for college admission if that's the goal. If the goal at the end of the 48 months is maybe the student is starting a small business or has a small business and needs skills for that, or maybe the student is wanting to prepare to enter a career, or maybe the high schooler wants to go, has some sort of a, what am I trying to say? An internship opportunity or a travel opportunity, or maybe there's mission work, or maybe they're joining you in your family business, or whatever the goal happens to be. It might be tech school. What it is that's the goal. And so you've got 48 months in which to get the student ready to do that thing, whatever that is, right? So the concept with starting with the end in mind is, and I always recommend putting this down in writing. That's another video, but it has to do with creating a 4-year plan. So what I recommend is figure out what the goal is and then divide the high school experience into, like I said, 48 months or whatever blocks of time seem to make sense, and then begin with your student to fill in all of those experiences. So whatever it's going to take. If it's college admission, we already know that college admission requires at least 4 years of high school English, right? That's kind of a no-brainer. So somewhere during those 48 months, your student will have to complete 4 years of high school English. If it's college admission, again, they're going to need to be 4 years of high school math somewhere in there, usually at the level of Algebra 1 or above, right? So again, somewhere in those 48 months, make sure that the student has completed at least 4 math courses by the time he or she reaches the finish line. So what you do is you kind of look ahead, think about everything that needs to get done over those 48 months, and plan them in some logical sequence. And this is how the end in mind works, because you'll never reach the end without having completed that stuff because you've planned for it. Now also consider, with the end in mind, things like testing, test preparation, driver's ed, life skills, right? Adult independent living skills. Anything that your student is going to need by the time you reach the finish line. You want to work that into the 4 years of high school. So the end in mind is simply thinking ahead, projecting, if you can, to what you hope your student will have achieved or mastered learned, what your student will be like, if you will, at graduation day, and then make sure that everything that you need to prepare him or her is somehow planned out over the 4 years or 48 months of high school. So that's what I mean by the end in mind. You'll find more videos here on this channel about specific things having to do with high school. You'll find scheduling videos, and you'll find specific information. So today's topic was just about the concept of the end in mind. I hope you find it helpful. If you would like more information about this, you can always visit my website, which is marieclairemoreau.com, or look me up on Amazon. You can check out some of my books. I hope you have a great day. Take care and happy homeschooling.